Hey guys, welcome to Breaking Food. If you guys have recently heard, Best Buy is now going to be, it's not going, Best Buy is not going to be selling DVDs, Blu-rays, steelbooks, and music CDs anymore. Well, except for the games, the physical games, which they will be selling, the physical movies and physical CDs are not going to be sold anymore, and this is honestly a terrible thing. So obviously back in the day, everyone used to use CD for everything, right? To store movies, videos, pictures, everything. And back in the day, before smartphones, everyone had a version of a computer. And in order to have the latest software, you used to use the CDs, right? And in these CDs, you'll buy it, which you'll get from like tech stores and whatnot. They will contain the actual software for you to install, and like some of the CDs, depending on which one you'll get, will have an installation thing for your drivers and whatnot for you to use different accessories and whatnot. As time passes by, everything's becoming digital. We're streaming movies online. We're installing softwares through servers. We're able to communicate with friends and family over, Wi-Fi and whatnot, and streaming music on these uh, these applications have never been easier, right? Um, but at the same time, uh, like these are server based things, and companies always shut down and close up stuff. We had social media stuff being closed down. We've had movies being taken out every day from different streaming services and put into different other streaming services. Is really hard to keep update of what streaming services you have, to the point that you're paying legit for a cable TV. And sometimes it's really hard to find a movie, uh, which is honestly bad. Now, for me and for some other people, we like to keep physical copies of games, of things, specifically games and movies. For me, I collect. I've been collecting physical copies of movies recently. I started doing digital originally, but the issue comes down to is just the complicated nature of owning digital stuff. Let me explain. This goes with games, but for the movie side, it is a case of like really hard to keep up with the digital stuff. Even when stuff like Die Hard includes like a digital copy, and I own No Time to Die, which came with a digital code. But here's the issue: there's a software called Movies Anywhere, which is honestly an amazing platform. What it does is it will link up all your platforms, so your Amazon Prime, your Vudu, your Apple TV, Google TV slash Play Music, and what else? All these other platforms where you can not really stream movies and pay a monthly fee, but actually buy a digital copy of the movie, which kind of is better than doing the streaming way. But here's the issue. So certain couple studios allow this platform to happen. Um, Fox slash Disney, who owns the right to Die Hard, is able to allow us to use this platform. And you can see like movies that are able to use the Movies Anywhere platform will legit tell you on the back or down here. But movies that don't, because of the studio, wouldn't allow you to use a platform. And so what they end up doing is, whenever they give like a digital copy, a lot of movies, actually some movies, modern movies, don't give you a digital code because it might be locked onto a certain streaming services, like movie Netflix movies. You're not able to buy all of them. You're not able to get the digital copies on like any other platforms, which is weird. And a couple Apple TV movies and TV shows, you're not able to get them on stuff like Amazon Prime or Apple TV and whatnot. So what they would do is some of them that are able to give you the digital code will only lock it onto a specific platform. So, for example, this movie, in order for me to watch it digitally and use a digital code, I can only use it on Apple TV. Other movies, for example, the John Wick film series. Let me show you. I don't have it, but movies like Total Recall doesn't allow you to use the platform. So essentially, let's say if you wanna, okay, so for example, I use an iPhone, and because Apple's ecosystem, like the built-in apps, work perfectly, I end up using my Apple TV app to view all the movies. So there'll be cases of like I'll be watching, like, for example, the film Terminator 3, which uses the Movies Anywhere platform, so I can watch on Vudu, which I can stream on my TV, or I can use Google Play on like the Android side of stuff. But films, like, let's say if I decide to watch Total Recall, which for the digital code only allows me to add it to Vudu. Let's say if I want to watch digital Total Recall and on my Apple products. What's cool about you know Apple products like my MacBook, I can watch on a bigger screen, and because Apple TV is built in, I can watch the movies offline, and I can't really say the same thing for other platforms like Prime or Vudu. Unless if I have the iPad and iPhone, so I can so let's say I have this on Vudu, but I want to watch it on my MacBook. Even though I have this on Vudu, I'll have to buy the same copy on Apple TV. And then I'll have to do the same thing for Google TV if I want to view it on Android side. And I'll have to do the same thing on Amazon side if, let's say, I want to use that same, if I want to share my Amazon account with other people so that they can do shopping and use that account. And it's a thing where, like, it's a big hassle, especially sometimes when certain platforms give deals on movies that other platforms don't. So, for example, I got Tron Legacy for a good deal on Vudu, but because Tron Legacy is a Disney movie and I got it for a really good deal on Vudu, I was able to watch on all platforms because it uses the My Movies platform. But uh, let's say if I want to watch the second Terminator movie, the issue is Warner Bros. Owns the rights to Terminator 3 and 4, but not 1 and 2. And let's say if I got a good deal on Vudu for Terminator 2, I'm only able to watch on Terminator 2 on Vudu because the studio that owns the rights to Terminator 2 doesn't allow movies anywhere to be on other platforms. Um, so that's the gist on the movie side. Now, games, that's also a different topic, but it is a case of like where, let's say if I want to buy a Nintendo 3DS or obviously a 360 or the PS3, the electronic digital shop has closed down, and with that, it's really hard for me to get digital contents. But because those products were made in an era where, yes, there was digital stuff, but everything was in physical disc, it is easier for me to get the physical copies of the games, right? Which in a sense will help me be able to experience those games without having to go through the digital stuff and whatnot. And there's this thing of like, because you own the physical copies of things, these stuff won't be lost content. In the past, we've had lost media, so lost music, lost movies and games due to it being exclusively digital. Um, so yeah, I know with older gaming systems like the Wii and the 3DS and the PS Vita, it's in a weird stage where everything was digital, but the system is so old that you can hack and get all those game digital stuff. easily for through the hack, but now with everything being tied down and there are more securities being added onto the device, it's really hard to hack certain stuff and get the applications. I know stuff like for example, apps on smartphones. I cannot really go ahead and hack an iPhone 5C and get all the apps that I want to get, right? Really hard because what Apple does is will discontinue those apps and will tell these companies that makes the apps for iPhones to turn off the servers for those versions of the applications, which is honestly bad. Now, owning physical media in a sense like this, um, I can view like behind the scenes and extra content. Digital movies, I'm not able to. It really depends on what movie you get. Because, for example, I own Batman vs Superman on digital and The Incredible Hulk on digital. But what's annoying is the Incredible Hulk movie I own digitally doesn't show behind the scenes, but the physical copy does. But the digital version of Batman vs Superman and the physical copy of Batman vs Superman both show behind the scenes and extra content. But with the physical copy I own of that movie, it gives me more content besides the movie, which is honestly so much better than the digital one I own. So yeah. The actually, in certain cases, owning not just the movies but the games and music, the physical side, you actually get better quality out of it. You won't, to the average person, you might not notice it, but if you actually look through the details and actually listen to it and experience and kind of look into it, you do end up getting a better quality version, which does enhance the overall experience of that content. So with movies, games, and music, you can get a better experience with it, which does help with like let's say down the road you end up getting a better gaming setup or a better theater setup or better audio setup for music and whatnot. Down the road, you have that kind of money to spend on. You do get the actual better experience because you have that setup, but also that actual good quality piece of content that you own physically. So yeah. So overall, if I would suggest getting everything physically, so that firstly you get the better quality. Secondly, you don't have to deal with the annoyance of the digital side of everything with the costly pricing and whatnot. Because there are times where you actually get physical copies for cheaper, and they do have a thing where like down the road you can resell it, right? And you own it for a longer period of time. With digital, there'll be times where like streaming services get shut down. Like there's been so many different versions of the Warner Bros. Streaming services, different versions of the Disney services, movie services, and owning the physical stuff is so much better because you know for a fact you physically own the copy and it's not saved onto the studios or the studios servers, which does in fact become lost media, and you know for a fact you don't really own that content, right? Because it's still like the company that owns that digital side can manipulate everything and actually take away that content from you in a sense. So yeah, that'll be it. Thank you for watching this video. As always, please stay tuned for more content. Please give this a thumbs up, share this video with everyone else, hit the subscribe button, get this notification, click on the notification bell icon, and stay tuned for more content. Take care and stay safe.